Right now, we're bringing you the details from a newly approved Madison city budget and how much more you'll be paying in taxes.
And new developments are coming from the first public impeachment hearings. We'll show you what's next in the process.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on a Thursday morning. It is November 14th. I'm Josh Brighter.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. Meteorologist Hattie McLean bringing a tiny little heat wave for us this morning compared to yesterday.
Bringing the heat.
At least the temperature is warmer than the date today. We're 14,
oh my.
So we're warmer than that today.
That's where we're at these days.
We're moving in the right direction, that is for sure. Our warm-up starts today. Let's take a look at where we start this morning. It's actually 24 degrees here in Madison, and with just a north-northwest wind at 3, there's no wind chill to report this morning. So pretty good stuff compared to what we have had so far this week. Skies are cloudy, but any snow showers have come to an end. Take a look at our temperatures elsewhere across the region. If you're waking up in Janesville, it's 23. Platteville, you're at 26. And Mineral Point, Prairie du Chien, and Boscobel, you're actually at 27 degrees this morning. We do expect some sunshine as we go through the day today. Definitely not this morning, but skies will clear heading into the afternoon, with highs pretty close to that freezing point later on today. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic maps early this morning. So far things have been pretty good. All the major routes are just fine. Side streets may have a fresh dusting of snow on them, so they may be a little slipperier, but there aren't any accidents to report this morning. And that's your first alert traffic.
If you think this is a heat warm-up, wait till the weekend.
Yeah.
You're in store for a treat.
Shorts.
Shorts, flip-flops. Let's bring it back.
You know you're from the Midwest.
I did see someone at school pickup yesterday in shorts.
In shorts?
I'm not kidding, yeah.
6 degrees yesterday?
I know, yeah.
Good for them.
Oh, boy.
To each his own.
All right. Thank you, Addie.
You're welcome.
Time right now at 6:02 this morning. 20,000 people drive down Monroe Street every day, but some of the local businesses say they need more people to stop in.
They're hoping an early start to holiday shopping can help them out. Christina Laurie is joining us live to explain. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Josh and Leah. So the potholes here along Monroe Street have been fixed, and take it from me, underneath this light dusting of snow, the pavement still looks brand new. Business has been better for local shops here along Monroe Street, but they're still struggling to get customers in their doors, reminding them they are here. That's especially important right now because now is the critical time. Holiday shopping season has begun and Small Business Saturday just about 2 weeks away. I talked with Anne Marie Matry. She owns Bloom Bake Shop just down the road. She said ebbs and flows are the nature of the business, so her store was able to take last year's construction in stride. According to Anne Marie, what makes Monroe Street unique is that it draws customers from campus, town, as well as tourists visiting Madison. I also talked to Bren Brady. He's the general manager at Everly. He says that after a long winter, summer was good for many businesses here on this very walkable Monroe Street, and he's hoping to keep that momentum going.
It's all independently owned establishments. We have a great group of merchants here, a lot of people that, and it's pretty close-knit, and especially, now that we're about over a year past road construction, we're doing everything we can to remind people that Monroe Street's here.
3 established businesses closed during that 10 months of construction last year. 2 others opened and closed during that project. But now, this morning, we have some good business news. Ahead at 6:30, Josh and Lee, I'm going to talk to you more about the new developments that are happening here along Monroe Street that should be ready in time for next summer. But first, a reminder that Small Business Saturday is 2 weeks from this Saturday. So, Leah, Josh, you want to go shopping?
Yeah, holiday shopping season's here.
I love Monroe Street. I will join you down there, Christina.
Christina Laurie live for us this morning. Christina, thank you.
All right, the city of Madison now has a budget for the upcoming year.
It includes a property tax increase of 3.6%, which is about $94 on the average home. It also includes funding for an independent police auditor. An amendment threatened to pull that funding with support from Alder Paul Skidmore. He worries the position could micromanage and potentially harass officers, but more importantly, he wanted the city to come up with a plan for the position before giving it funds.
The devil's in the details. That's why we want to do this now rather than later, and that we want to vet it because there's some, I'd say there's some potential landmines in the position.
Ultimately, the amendment to remove funding was voted down 17-3. The position is expected to be created and filled within 6 months to a year.
The council also passed an amendment to the budget for an extra ambulance to Fire Station 14, but no additional staff. Earlier this week, the council rejected an amendment that would have added both the ambulance plus 10 paramedic positions. The State Journal says that amendment sets aside money for the ambulance, but the department won't get it until 2021. More staff to operate the ambulance would have to be approved in next year's budget.
Governor Tony Evers is defending comments he made when he called state Republican senators, quote, bastards. He says he was using the word in a well-known phrase and it wasn't meant as an insult.
You know, you look back to World War II, World War I, don't let the bastard keeping you down is a term of art. It's not a term of necessarily insult. And I can remember Barry Goldwater used it in '64 when he ran for president, and I know John Boehner had it on his desk. So it's not something I just pulled out of thin air.
The GOP-controlled Senate voted to fire Brad Pfaff last week, the governor's pick for Agriculture Secretary. Republican Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says Evers is being, quote, shockingly disrespectful.
Looking ahead now, Vice President Mike Pence is once again planning a visit to Wisconsin. His office says he will tour and speak at Marinette Marine in Marinette on Wednesday. The vice president was first scheduled to visit the company back in October, but it was canceled at the last minute.
Breaking news this morning, the Democratic presidential race is getting yet another candidate this morning. Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick is announcing his candidacy today. He'll make the announcement exclusively on CBS this morning. We are just a few months away now from the start of primary season with the Iowa caucus on February 3rd.
More breaking news overnight into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Israel's foreign minister says the targeting and killing of Gaza militants will continue just hours after a ceasefire was announced. The fighting started when Israel killed a senior commander with the Islamic Jihad group in Gaza early Tuesday, prompting a two-day round of violence. At least 32 Palestinians are dead as a result of that fighting. The impeachment inquiry is officially in a new, very public phase.
The first open hearing on Capitol Hill had lawmakers grilling a pair of veteran State Department officials. The top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine, William Taylor, opened his testimony with a new detail that a member of his staff, David Holmes, overheard a phone call between President Trump and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland. Taylor told lawmakers the president asked the ambassador about the investigations.
Following the call with President Trump, the member of my staff asked Ambassador Sondland what President Trump thought about Ukraine. Ambassador Sondland responded that President Trump cares more about the investigations of Biden.
Yesterday, President Trump denied having that conversation with Sondland and dismissed the testimony as hearsay. Tomorrow, the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine will testify, and you can watch that right here on News 3 Now.
President Trump says he was too busy to watch the impeachment proceedings as he was hosting Turkey's president at the White House. The two leaders touted their friendship despite tensions last month after President Trump pulled the U.S. military out of Syria. That move led to the Turkish invasion against Kurdish forces.
Today, the ceasefire continues to hold, and I want to thank the President for his partnership and cooperation as we work to build a more stable and peaceful and prosperous Middle East.
Lawmakers criticized the White House for not rescinding the invitation to the Turkish leader. Hundreds of demonstrators rallied near the White House in opposition.
And just this reminder, CBS This Morning will be covering the next round of public testimony live in a special report tomorrow when former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, will testify. Be sure to tune in right after News 3 Now this morning.
6:09 on your Thursday. Thanksgiving is just 2 weeks away. We're looking forward to all of our favorite holiday foods, but you want to enjoy the stuffing without getting overstuffed, right? So coming up, we're sitting down with our Dr. Mara to talk about how you can avoid those extra holiday pounds.
But first, we are finally getting a break from some snow, at least for a few days, but we could see some flurries heading into Saturday. Hattie's got the first alert on the weekend forecast next on News 3 Now this morning.
Good Thursday morning from the Hattie-O patio, where it's actually pretty quiet outside this morning. We have just a fresh dusting of snow here in Madison, less than a half an inch, slightly higher amounts north of Dane County yesterday, but overall a pretty light snow event for the region. Doppler track zoomed out to the Midwest perspective will show you that all the snow has ended here in southern Wisconsin, and there's really nothing upstream right now. So we have actually a pretty quiet stretch of weather ahead. Again, high resolution radar not picking up anything here in the area. We do have a pretty decent snowpack though, considering it's only the middle of November. Normally we wouldn't even be able to show this kind of a map right now, but we have anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow on the ground across southern Wisconsin. That snow is going to be melting a little bit over the next couple of days, but it's still going to keep temperatures a little bit below normal. We do get back into the 30s today and then mid 30s this weekend. By the middle of next week, next Wednesday, we should top in the low to mid 40s, which will be right about normal for this time of the year. And that'll be the first time that we'll be back to normal temperatures since the end of October, I believe October 27th. So it's been quite a stretch of cold conditions here across southern Wisconsin. It is cold this morning, but not as cold. 24 here in Madison. Light northwesterly winds, not generating much of a wind chill this morning. Skies are cloudy though, so we're not going to see much of a sunrise either. 24 in Madison and Monroe, 26 in Platteville this morning. Mineral Point, you're waking up to 27 degrees. You're actually one of the warmer spots across the region. Again, winds are pretty light from the west-northwest. Where there is a wind chill, it only drops into the teens. So at least we're not talking any negative numbers on this map this morning. And our wind chill factor through the day is going to be a little bit easier to take. Wind chills will generally be in the 20s through the afternoon. So don't need to have quite as many layers today. Your future track forecast is doing a great job with the clouds this morning. Cloudy skies across the entire area, but they will begin to thin out as we head towards the afternoon. After lunchtime, should start to see some more sunshine around here. I know the sun sets pretty early this time of the year, but we should get at least a couple of hours with the sun today. Temperatures will drop into the teens overnight, but we will start tomorrow with sunshine and keep it all day. Enjoy the sun the next couple of days because clouds return and then looks like they are going to stick around heading right into the middle of next week. So not a lot of sun in that extended forecast, but not as cold either. Temperatures will get back into the 40s by Tuesday. It's time to get a look at those first alert traffic maps. We'll send it over to Josh Tim for all the details. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, so far it is a quiet start on the Beltline this morning. Really no delays showing up yet in either direction at this point. As we check out some other roads here in Dane County, things may be a little slick yet on the side streets, but most of the main routes are taken care of. No issues downtown around the Capitol Square and on campus. Plan on things picking up over the next hour or so. And other main routes coming into Madison, they're cruising at the usual speeds with no major crashes or delays. With your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Josh and Hattie, thank you both very much. 6:15 this morning. As Thanksgiving draws near, we're looking forward to all of that turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing with all the extra weight that can come with it, of course.
Joining us this morning with some advice not to get too overstuffed is Dr. Mandira Mera from SSM Health. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I know everybody is always concerned about packing on the pounds, but you also don't want to be too tough on yourself. We love this time of year.
I know. Santa Claus only comes that one time a year. Thanksgiving is that time we all get together with our friends, our family. I mean, what's your favorite holiday food?
Mine is definitely the stuffing.
The stuffing.
Yes.
I'm a carbs girl. I'm either the buns or the mashed potatoes.
Okay. And so
I like it all though.
Yeah,
it's hard to pick.
Good,
This
right.
is kind of my favorite topic, you know, favorite foods. But it's not all bad news. I'm not the anti-Santa Claus today. I am here to tell you there is a way to really enjoy the holidays, but still to avoid excessiveness, still to avoid that weight gain. And the reason this is so important is holiday weight gain, unfortunately, is really hard to lose. And so every year when we gain maybe a pound to 5 pounds, every year that adds up. You can imagine over 5-10 years, that becomes 5, 10, 15 pounds. And we always talk about the obesity, the diabetes, hypertension, stroke, cardiovascular risk, etc. So really being mindful here is important. Things that we can do is number one, when you eat, when you indulge, if you're going to a party, trying to snack at home before you head out. Saying, you know what, I'm not going to go on a completely empty belly. I'm not going to starve myself. That way when you get there, you can still indulge in your favorite foods, but you're not overeating. The other thing you can do is, if you're going to have desserts, try picking maybe fruits. They're not as fun maybe as grandma's apple pie. I know it's not. That's my weakness. Instead of having 2 slices, maybe have 1 and then stick to some fresh fruits. If you're going to have the coffee afterwards, which so many of us do, sticking to skim milk, not the whole milk or the creamer. Other things we can do is, around this time of year, it's either more expensive to buy the fruits and vegetables or they become, less available. But trying some frozen options, things like that. Don't skip the workout. I know this is dear to your guys' hearts, but really not skipping the workout. A lot of us think, well, you know what, I'll overeat tonight, I'll just do this marathon run tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. Still staying consistent, sticking to those good habits, and then ultimately trying to rope your family and friends in on this. We really want to avoid excessive drinking. This is important for everybody. When we excessively drink, not only is that extra calories, but that lowers our inhibitions. So we're much more likely then to do things like grab an extra donut, grab that extra cake, things like that. So if you are taking snacks to a party or snacks to someone's house, also thinking of healthy alternatives, not necessarily just the greasy, gluttonous, cheesy type things. So really these are options for us to continue to enjoy the holidays, but thinking of ways we can remain healthy. Now, the big question people always ask me is, Dr. Mara, but if I do this, can't I just start my weight loss January 1? We are going to talk about it. I'm sure January 1, I'll be back here.
You'll be back with those details.
I'll be saying, here's how we work out, here's how we lose weight. But in all honesty, prevention is key here. So if we can just do these little changes starting even now, preventatively start getting in the habit of working out, eating healthy, telling your kids, your family, hey, we're going to do this together this year, then you don't have to eat all of Santa's cookies at night. You know what I mean? So
great tips there. Thank you very much, Dr. Mara.
Yeah, great to be here.
All right, still ahead for us this morning, we're introducing you to the most innovative company in Madison.
Pretty cool stuff, and a little warmer outside today, but we are still below freezing. Hattie's first alert forecast is coming up when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
And from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center, we are starting with cloudy skies this morning. Great view of the Capitol, though. No issues with fog here in and around Madison. Temperatures are actually a little bit warmer than they have been the last couple of mornings. We're in the 20s across all of southern Wisconsin. As the kids get ready to head to school, you may not need as many layers. Maybe you don't need that buff today. Wind chills will be in the teens this morning. Into the 20s, though, through the afternoon. So definitely warmer than it has been the rest of this week. Your bus stop weather forecast starts with cloudy skies, but get ready for some sunshine, especially heading into the afternoon as you head home from school. Temperatures will be very close to that freezing point this afternoon. Have a wonderful Thursday.
There is a new company named Most Innovative in Madison this morning.
Yeah, every year the Madison Chamber of Commerce spotlights the impressive work happening in our community. Here to brag a little bit about the winner is Kevin Little from the Chamber of Commerce and Tara Linda Willis from Curate Solutions. Hi, guys.
Hey, good morning.
Thanks so much for waking up early.
Thanks.
Kevin, I'm going to start with you. Why is this competition so important? Why do you guys put this on every year?
I think it's a great opportunity just to showcase the breadth of talent that's here. There's so many great people that are solving some really big problems. And so the process begins in the summer, and our members curate a group of about 35 companies that are doing really great things of all types and sizes. They get to vote on the companies that they think are doing the most innovative things, and we narrow that down to 7 finalists. And those 7 finalists took the stage last night, and so Tara Linda and her fellow nominees got to take the stage, pitch, tell their story. And from that group, a packed auditorium got to vote for their favorite.
So Tara Linda, tell us a little bit about Curate and what makes it so unique.
Yeah, so Curate is a software platform. We aggregate municipal meeting data from all over the country using artificial intelligence to identify what's relevant. We work with a lot of businesses who are impacted by the changes happening in municipalities. Things like Madison City Council, but think bigger, we're in all 50 states. We do this all across the country.
What is it like to win an award like this?
It's an incredible honor. I'm so touched to, everybody has it's a village effect in Madison. It's a great place to grow a startup company. And it's so incredible that so many of our employees and our mentors and our advisors came last night to showcase us.
Congrats, by the way. And Kevin, just briefly tell us about some of the runner-ups. I understand there was a wolfhound involved.
There's a wolfhound, yeah, that took the stage, that is doing great things to help protect dogs that are in cars. We had companies that are innovating in transportation and health and wellness and food and fashion. And if people are interested in learning more about all of those companies, they can check our website out at madisonbiz.com.
Very cool. Thank you so much for waking up early with us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, still ahead for us, we've got the top 3 things you need to know this morning before you head out the door.
And there's a heavy police presence as students head to class in one Wisconsin school district this morning. We'll tell you why. That's when News 3 Now This Morning returns.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks, and thanks for staying with us on this Thursday, November 14th. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Josh Breiter. Hattie's tracking a warm-up in her forecast. We'll get to that good news in just a second, but first, here's the top 3 things you need to know this morning. Day 1 of public impeachment hearings revealed a link that may further implicate President Trump in a pressure campaign against Ukraine. Ambassador Bill Taylor testified one of his staffers overheard a phone call between the president and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland discussing, quote, the investigations into the Bidens. President Trump said he recalls no such conversation.
The second story we're following this morning, the city of Madison has its new budget set for next year. You can expect to see a property tax increase of 3.6%, or right around $94 on the average home. It also includes funding for 3 new police officers, an ambulance, and an independent police monitor. That position can be expected to be created and filled within the next year.
And finally, some people are being billed for electric during a power outage. PG&E customers in California found their bills had an estimated usage for the days that they were in the dark. This comes less than a month after the most recent shutoff as fires tore through Northern California. The company is issuing a $100 credit if they went more than 48 hours without power, but many people say they haven't seen that credit yet.
Those are the top 3 things to know on your Thursday. Hattie's here now with a check on the forecast. Hi, Hattie.
Good morning, Lee and Josh. Well, what you need to know this morning is that you're not going to have to scrape the windshield, but maybe just give it a quick brush off with that snow that fell yesterday. Light dusting here in Madison, up to 1 inch, maybe 2 inches, well northeast of the city. But overall, not a big snow event for us at all. Just clean off the car early today. 24 right now in Madison, 22 in the Dells, 27 in Mineral Point. It's still chilly outside, but that's significantly warmer than what we've had the last couple of mornings. As you head out the door early today, maybe you don't need quite as many layers. We'll actually have some clearing taking place towards the afternoon with high temperatures at 31 degrees. Here's a look at your traffic maps early this morning. All those main roads are in good condition. Travel still moving at posted speeds on the Beltline. Just some brake lights starting to show up at Stoughton Road as it gets a little busier there. Otherwise, looking around Dane County, looks like you're still going at posted speeds in all those major routes into Madison. And that's your first alert traffic.
Thank you very much, Hattie. We are following some breaking news into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning. Madison police are looking for teenagers accused of threatening a 60-year-old man, then stealing his car. It happened last night just before 9 off of High Point Road near the Marcus Point Cinema. Police say 4 teenage boys walked up to that man, threatened him with a knife, then stole the car. The victim wasn't hurt. His car was found empty a couple of blocks away. Officers say the teenagers could be connected to another attempted carjacking that happened less than 10 minutes before this one, just down the road. 6:31 your time now. Monroe Street is one of Madison's busiest roads, but businesses there say they're having trouble getting some of the 20,000 people that pass through every day to stop by.
Right now, they're hoping an early start to holiday shopping helps some of their struggles. Christina Laurie was giving us the thumbs up in our last half hour to get that holiday shopping underway, and Christina is live to explain more on this story. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. So before that construction project, the pavement here along Monroe Street was rated just a 3 out of 10. Now you're just going to have to believe me that underneath this light dusting of snow, that pavement has been repaired. But what's still a struggle is getting people back inside the businesses here. During that 10 months of construction, 3 businesses closed. Those were longtime businesses. 2 others opened and closed during construction. With Small Business Saturday 2 weeks away, shop and restaurant owners are hoping their special deals will help them rally. They say the street is a great place to do your holiday shopping because it's walkable. It features a variety of small local businesses, and they're selling unique gifts, serving delicious food too. Speaking of food, I talked to Anne Marie Maitre. She owns Bloom Bake Shop. She says ebbs and flows are the nature of owning a business. Ben Brady, co-owner and general manager of the restaurant Everly, agrees.
It really depends on who you talk to. I mean, obviously we have new businesses that are opening up, a couple new restaurants that either have opened or are opening relatively soon. So overall, I think the general consensus is a pretty positive one. But, you know, we're looking for as many opportunities as we can to get people back to Monroe Street.
Brady says it's important to get people back to their habits that they had before road construction. And if you haven't been out to Monroe since construction, you might see something new. Not only are there the new shops and restaurants that you heard Brady tease there, but just down the road from us, there are new apartments going up. Hotel Red, which is right across the street from Camp Randall, is adding a bunch of new rooms that should be ready for next summer. And of course, a reminder that Small Business Saturday is happening 2 weeks from this Saturday. And I know, Josh and Lee, I asked you guys to go shopping with me in the last half hour, and then I kind of blew you off. But I really do want to make it happen. I've already been looking at restaurant menus.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Okay, so the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, 6 days shorter this year. So I say we go today. Christina, don't leave me hanging.
I'm all for it. You know I already have my Christmas tree up.
Oh, love it. All right.
I'm surprised she doesn't have her Christmas sweater on, or maybe she does up underneath her jacket this morning.
Ooh.
Christmas socks.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
All right, Christina Laurie reporting live for us. Thank you very much, Christina.
More news now at 6:34 this morning. Students in a suburb of Milwaukee will be back in class today with police presence. Classes in the entire Shorewood School District were canceled yesterday after investigators found a high school student with a hit list in his pocket and a loaded magazine in his backpack. Superintendent Brian Davis says investigators found the gun matching the magazine off campus, but the weapon was never on or near school grounds.
A local woman is facing charges for bringing a weapon into a high school in Madison. It happened at East High. Police say 19-year-old Juanicia Thompson, who is not an East student, refused to leave after a disturbance with a student. Police say she spit on the school resource officer and had a stun gun and pepper spray in her pockets.
Every year, Madison Metropolitan School District buses go through thorough inspections to make sure emergency exits, brakes, and other crucial components are intact. News 3 Now is digging through 2 years of inspection records to see if problems identified in these annual checkups are being fixed. The investigation found that while most buses are marked safe or have only minor violations, some show reoccurring problems or are being driven despite problems with the brake system or not meeting federal standards. Tonight, only on News 3 Now at 10, we are investigating what problems are showing up in Madison buses and what the state and local bus companies are doing to fix them. 6:35 is your time right now, and coming up in the morning sprint, we're bringing you the very latest on a study that shows how the climate crisis will impact your kids.
And we're showing you how a local artist is resurrecting a piece of Madison's history. That's next on News 3 Now this morning.
Welcome back at 6:39, and it's our favorite part of the morning. It is time for My Morning, and we've got a frosty one for you. Wendy is sharing this from James Madison Park.
Boy, I'm shivering just looking at this puppy.
That's incredible. I mean, those lakes have been nasty this week.
I said earlier, it is November 14th, and this is what the shoreline looks like.
This almost looks like Lake Michigan.
That's what I thought it was.
Like, this is crazy. Hopefully some sunshine that we have in the forecast will melt some of that ice away. Thank you so much for sharing, Wendy. If you've got a photo that you'd like to share with us, all you have to do is send it to us over on our Facebook page and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. It is our favorite part every morning. More local news now. There is a future for a piece of 150-year-old cathedral that was nearly destroyed by fire 14 years ago.
I bet you've seen this along East Washington Avenue. A local artist was contacted by the St. Raphael Cathedral in Madison to save the cathedral's spire, the one thing that wasn't destroyed in that fire all those years ago. The spire has been sitting outside storage for the past 7 years, but the people who own the facility are selling the property, meaning something has to be done with it. Artist Jeremiah Logeman says he plans to dismantle it and turn it into public art.
Everybody's familiar with Raphael's Cathedral, and what happened, someone set fire to the cathedral, and it burnt down, and they saved this part of it. It's a story that's touches a lot of people, so hopefully it can stay right here.
Logeman wants to hear what you see from this project. He says you can send your ideas to him. You can find his contact information over on channel3000.com. Such an iconic piece of Madison that I'm aware of because I always drive by it.
Well, I've seen it so many times along East Washington,
Right.
too, and wondered what it was. And now I know, and that's so cool, and I hope that they can do something really unique with it. That's incredible.
Fascinating.
All right, 6:40 is your time this morning. So cloudy and cold is the forecast today, but we might see some sunshine later today with a little bit of a warm-up heading into the next few days. Hattie's telling us when we'll be back above freezing in her extended forecast right after this.
But first, if you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can share their picture on TV. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning.
Look who's 3.
Good morning from the News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. If you're just waking up this morning, cloudy skies across southern Wisconsin. No snow falling, though. The snow has come to an end, and it was pretty light for most of the area. Let's take a look at 3 things that you need to know going forward. We have clouds this morning, but skies are going to clear for the afternoon, so get ready for some sunshine. That's the good news. Temperatures are going to slowly start to moderate, so we've changed out the cold words and replaced them with just cool, so not as bad. We are going to see a lot of clouds, though, starting this weekend and heading right into next week. So enjoy that sunshine that we have for the remainder of this week. This weekend, it is the last farmers market. If you're planning on heading over to the Capitol Square, here's a look at the conditions. Cloudy skies through the day, but dry, no precipitation. Temperatures will start in the 20s, getting back into the low 30s by 12 p.m. High temperatures, though, will actually be above the freezing point Saturday afternoon. Now, here's a look at what's happening on the radar map. All the snow, as I mentioned, coming to an end overnight. Looking off to the west, upstream from us, nothing showing up on the radar map. So we actually have a pretty quiet forecast for the next couple of days. High pressure is in control. This cold front continues to march off towards the east. We do have a lot of clouds lingering. The back edge of the clouds still in Minnesota, central Iowa, so it's going to take several hours yet before we start to see some clearing this morning. Here's a look at our temperatures early today. Some of the coldest temps are right where we are in the north central part of the United States. Off to the west, 20s and 30s, but we have 20s, a few teens in Wisconsin as well. Look at southern Wisconsin temperatures this morning. It's 24 here in Madison, 23 in Watertown. Janesville's at 23 as well. Slightly warmer to the west. Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s through the Wisconsin River Valley, with 27 in Boscobel and 27 in Prairie du Chien. Winds are light from the northwest right now. They'll stay pretty light through the day. So even though we have clouds this morning, there's not much of a wind chill to report. You may not need as many layers as you did yesterday. Those clouds after lunchtime will start to thin out as well. Take a look at the future track at 3:30 this afternoon. High temperatures near 30 degrees with partly to mostly sunny skies. Skies will continue to clear overnight, so that sets us up for a lot of sunshine tomorrow. Here's a look at your extended forecast. The slow warming trend starts today. I guess slow is the key word because it takes until next week to get into the 40s. We have generally a pretty quiet forecast, though, outside of some light flurry activity or a little bit of rain Sunday afternoon. The forecast is mainly dry into next week. Here's our Petwalk Forecast. Oh, Remy and Cabby, it looks like they're posing for the holiday photo there.
Well-dressed pups.
A couple Brittany Spaniels. I used to have a Brittany growing up. Yeah.
Wow, dropping some knowledge on us.
I know,
like,
I know, right? Usually I have nothing to say about dogs.
You would make your dog dress up like this.
I never
Decorate
did that, but I probably would now.
Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
The morning sprint is up next, but first here's Tony DeCopel telling us about a story coming up on CBS this morning with ties to Madison. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS this morning, concerns over the safety of LASIK eye surgery. Hear from one expert who supported the procedure and is now pushing to get it off the market. Plus, only on CBS this morning, go backstage with Celine Dion. She's on her first tour since her husband's death and tells Gail how he's always with her on stage, near, far, wherever you are. We'll see you at 7.
6:50, time for the morning sprint as we get you started with everything you need to know before heading out the door this morning.
We start in Madison this morning, where the city has its budget set for next year. You can expect to see a property tax increase of 3.6%. That's about $94 on the average house. It also includes funding for 3 new police officers and an independent police monitor.
The council also passed an amendment to the budget for an extra ambulance to Fire Station 14, but no additional staff. Earlier this week, the council rejected an amendment that would have added both the ambulance and 10 paramedic positions. The State Journal says the amendment sets money aside for the ambulance, but the department won't get it until 2021.
Governor Evers is defending comments he made when he called state Republican senators, quote, bastards.
And then they go home and have to, don't let the bastard keeping you down is a term of art. It's not a term of necessarily insult.
Meanwhile, Republican Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says Evers is being, quote, shockingly disrespectful.
1 year ago this week, Monroe Street reopened to traffic. It's getting busy out here this morning, but what's still a struggle is getting people back inside the businesses on the street. Now is a critical time for these businesses as the holiday shopping season is just kicking off, and Small Business Saturday is about 2 weeks away. We heard from Ben Brady. He's the general manager of Everly earlier in the show. He says it depends on who you talk to, but the Monroe Street Merchants Association is working to remind people they are here, and Monroe Street is a great place to do your holiday shopping. That starts on Small Business Saturday, again, 2 weeks from this Saturday. You can learn more about the 10th annual event and all the deals that are being offered up on our website, channel3000.com.
And taking a live look from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam, 50 shades of white this morning. White on the ground, white clouds in the sky. Don't worry though, those clouds will clear up for the afternoon. Temperatures are actually a little warmer this morning. We're in the 20s across southern Wisconsin. We'll climb to highs in the low 30s, very close to the freezing point in many locations today. Again, look for some sunshine for the afternoon as well.
Addie, thank you. A new report in the medical journal The Lancet says the climate crisis will have a major effect on your kids' lives. It says that a warmer planet translates to more disease, famine, and early death, which will cause problems for future generations that will last a lifetime. Not all hope is lost, though. The report says taking drastic action right now to reduce carbon emissions could change the dire outlook.
Some people are being billed for electricity when their houses were dark during a power outage. PG&E customers in California found their bills had an estimated usage for the days they were in the dark. This comes less than a month after the most recent shutoff as fires tore through Northern California. The company is issuing a $100 credit if they went more than 48 hours without power, but many people say they haven't seen that credit yet.
Israel's foreign minister announced the targeting and killing of Gaza militants will continue just hours after a ceasefire was announced. Fighting between Gaza's militant Islamic Jihad group and Israel started when Israel killed a senior commander with the Islamic Jihads in Gaza early Tuesday, prompting a 2-day round of violence. At least 32 Palestinians are dead as a result of this fighting.
President Trump hosted the president of Turkey this week, despite tensions last month after the U.S. military pulled out of Syria. Lawmakers criticized the White House for not rescinding the invitation to the Turkish leader, since his forces have since invaded Kurdish lands. Hundreds of demonstrators rallied near the White House yesterday in opposition.
Day one of public impeachment hearings revealed a link that may further implicate President Trump in a pressure campaign against Ukraine. Ambassador Bill Taylor testified one of his staffers overheard a phone call between the president and EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland discussing, quote, the investigations into the Bidens. President Trump said he recalls no such conversation.
Vice President Mike Pence is once again planning a visit to Wisconsin. His office says he will tour and speak at Marinette Marine in Marinette on Wednesday. The vice president was first scheduled to visit that company back in October, but it was canceled at the last minute.
The Democratic presidential race is getting yet another candidate. Former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick is announcing his candidacy today. He'll make the announcement exclusively on CBS this morning. We're just a few months away from the start of the primary season with the Iowa caucus on February 3rd.
Facebook says it has shut down billions of fake accounts, but millions are likely still up and running. So far, more than 5 billion have been removed this year alone. The company's announcement highlights some of the challenges social media platforms are facing ahead of the high-stakes 2020 election. The company says as many as 5% of its monthly users are fake.
The Walmart that was the scene of a deadly mass shooting is reopening today. The store in El Paso, Texas is working on building a permanent memorial to honor the 22 people who were killed. 26 others were injured in that massacre.
Students in a suburb of Milwaukee will be back in class today with a heavy police presence. This after classes in the Shorewood School District were canceled yesterday. That came after investigators found a high school student with a hit list in his pocket and a loaded magazine in his backpack. Superintendent Brian Davis says investigators found the gun matching the magazine off campus.
A local woman is facing charges for bringing a weapon into a high school in Madison. This happened at East High. Police say 19-year-old Juanicia Thompson was not a student at an East student, refused to leave the school after a disturbance with a student. Police say she spit on a school resource officer and had a stun gun and pepper spray in her pockets.
A Wisconsin company is under OSHA investigation for carbon monoxide exposure after about 24 employees got sick at work in just the past week. The Stevens Point location of Donaldson, a manufacturing plant, is working with OSHA as they work to fix the equipment issues that might have led to those illnesses.
6:56, Josh Tim has a final look at your first alert traffic. Hi, Josh.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Watching slowdowns on the westbound belt line already, on and off the brakes between Stoughton Road and Seminole Highway. Would plan on at least 5 minutes extra added to your drive time. Inbound side of John Nolan, you're picking up near the Rimrock and Olin Avenue intersections as you head into the downtown area. Give yourself an extra minute approaching the Highway PD intersection, heading north and southbound. And other main routes coming into Madison, they're moving at the usual speeds with no major crashes or delays. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Josh, thank you.
What's going on?
Henry Villasu. He was rolling around, having an awesome time playing in the snow this morning. So actually not a bad day to check out the zoo. Temperatures are warming up a little bit. We'll have some sunshine this afternoon. We'll be very close to that freezing point, hitting a high of 31 degrees. The warm-up continues right into the weekend.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Hattie.
And thanks so much for joining us this morning, folks. Take some time for your family today. Enjoy that sun, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
It's family.